We're at Sherwood today. We got the boat. We got Thomas from TC Fishing Adventures. Let's get it, let's fish today. We also got a big 3 fish challenge today. Thomas and I are gonna have a little competition between ourselves. Whoever catches the 3 biggest fish will have a winner, we'll have a loser. And so it began. My friend Thomas's first bass fishing adventure of his life, and I had the honor to be along with him for the ride. We popped our inflatable 9-foot dinghy in the protected water of the California hills and got to casting as the anticipation couldn't get any more prominent. Our first spot was nothing short of a surprise as the first strike of the day came on my favorite bait to throw, a topwater frog. There's just something about those predators coming out of the water for your fooling and convincing presentation that you offer them that fuels my addiction for the sport I cherish so much. They sure are feisty, aren't they? After, a few missed hook sets, it was time to get back to business doing what we do best. And of course, I couldn't let the beginner get the upper hand on me from the gate. I made sure that my presence was felt by sticking the second fish of the day. A long fight ensued, and I began to sense fear from my befriended competition. As previously mentioned, the goal of the trip was to catch the 3 biggest bass totaling the most weight, and I was well on my way to said success. But finally, his first hookup of the day, and it's a good one. But the fishing gods weren't going to let him off easy on the first day, were they? Next cast, he hooks up, and I immediately saw it click. His confidence skyrocketed, and he began to hold a swagger to him as he holds up his first ever largemouth bass with great excitement. This was it, the highlight of our outing. A whopping 4.5-pound bass came out from under a resident's dock to devour my swim jig bait. Little did this big girl know, though, that it wasn't a bluegill she would be snacking on as she anticipated, but rather she was in the ride for her life that would make a certain someone a very happy person. She was what I had been searching for years, spending countless hours on the water in search for the biggest fish in the lake, wherever location I may be. My mindset on this will never change and is the reason that fishing challenges me and teaches me new things each and every time I go. Holding her up, you can sense the emotion I had at this very special moment. I am a heavy advocate for catch and release always, making sure I give back to the environment that constantly gives pleasure to me. I feel like I would be doing Mother Nature a disservice if I ruined the special relationship that the fish and I share when I get them into the boat. So for me, watching them swim away is more rewarding than the actual catch itself. As we fished on into the morning, I couldn't help but have in the back of my head that moment I set the hook on that behemoth. But it was time to do it again, as winning the competition was my only concern, no matter who I am battling, and is my mindset in life too. Fishing isn't just a sport for me. I don't fish to escape my life, I fish to live my life, and it is what brings me the most joy, which I hope everyone finds in their life no matter what it is. One thing I take away from each fishing adventure I go on is to always expect the unexpected, and this was no exception. The element of surprise is the motto that these fish base their lives off of, and I can't help to think that this fish's attempt to elude me was nothing short of that. Another fish on the board for my man TC. A few more good ones for me in the last waning minutes out on the water before our boating components wither away, losing juice by the second. At this point, we wrapped up our rods, tucked ourselves away from the elements of the SoCal mountain waters, and it was time to count up the scores to see who will reign victor as the fisherman of the day and get bragging rights for years to come. We don't mess with them though. Big fish only, right?
Looks like I have lost the challenge. Not by too much, actually, which is kind of cool, because this is my first time lake fishing.
20 fish day.
High five.
Even though my fish weights were ultimately greater than his, what I was most proud of was teaching my best friend at the time the ways of what makes me tick as a person. After this, he was hooked on it, nagging me day after day to get back out there on the water and chase after the next biggest fish, because from what I have experienced, there is always one. So I encourage you, the listener, to go out and find one yourself. Thank you for tuning in.